Yo, morning. Right, we are back at the job where we are in this garage. So what we're going to do here today is I'm going to try and concentrate, if the weather's good, I'm going to concentrate on getting the soffit lights all sorted and the shed supply out the back, which is a wonderful installation. So we're going to be replacing that. But first of all, more importantly, if you are new to the channel and you haven't subscribed already, hit the link in the corner, turn your notifications on. We try and upload a couple of times a week, and yeah, we're pretty good like that actually. So stay tuned and we'll explain the job. Right, soffit lights. So we have got quite a large run. It's almost 10 meters all the way across the front here. I've gone for 5 down lights because I think that'll be more than sufficient over here. We're going to be wiring it off some kinetic switching, or wireless switching should we say, which is actually kinetic, which is this little bad boy, because the plan is I can then mount it on the inside without causing any damage right next to the front door, and then that way it takes care of that. So how do we figure out where those downlights are going? I know you're asking it, how's he going to do this? And so here it is. This is my method of doing it. If you've got a different method, and obviously let me know, because it's, you know, I always like to learn new things. So what we'll do, measure the whole run, what we've got. So if we're putting 5 downlights in, if you divide it by 6, that'll give you your equal spacing all the way along. The next key part of that is finding out where your rafters are, because if your rafters are going to drop in all those places, you're going to be in a bit of a pickle, aren't you? So luckily enough here, we have got our rafters drop in at 600 mil. Okay, so what that means, so from, let's say for argument's sake, we've got a rafter here, 600 mil away, there's going to be another rafter. As long as my drops, my divided run drops in between those, we're on to a winner. So how do you go about finding that out? So what you would do is you'll slide your tiles back, lift up your felt without splitting it, and then you can find it. Another little way of doing it, if you don't know, is, I don't know whether you can see that very well, but you see under here there's a little poly top nail. So that's where they've fixed that fascia board on. So there's one there and there's one there, and then obviously so on and so on, which when you measure that out, it gives you a 600. So you know where you're at with that. So that is the plan. So what I'm then going to do is I'm going to push back the tiles, as you can see where my lights are going to go on this span. There's going to be roughly I think there's 1600, something like that, 1620 it is on this, because it's not actually 10 meters bang on. So 1620 all the way along. And then what we're going to do is, some people might, because we've got a bit of a deeper soffit up here, some people might want to step them back. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep it all in line. So they're going to be roughly around here, so they're not too close to the house, but equally they're not right on the end of the soffit board. So yeah, so that's what we're going to do. I will set you up on time lapse just as I go through and push all my tiles back, and then I'll bring you in and I'll explain my depths on how far back from the soffits we're going to be. So stay tuned, get yourself a tea and a biscuit. Come on, look after yourselves. Today's video is sponsored by TRADIFY. For those of you who don't know what TRADIFY is, it's a job management software. You can use it on your phone. It doesn't have to be an Apple, could be an Android. Use it on your iPad, which I do a hell of a lot, to be honest. You're also on your PC. So if I'm doing big quotes, I always do it on the PC. If it is I'm on site, which I've already had a job accepted, and the customer wants more, I'll always jump on my iPad, alter it, send it off to them, and they have to accept it before I can carry on doing any more work, because it just keeps everything neat and tidy. So there is, in the description below, there's a link. Click on that. It's a 14-day free trial, absolutely no obligation. This is exactly what I did. I started that way on doing the trial run, and then because I was using a different software, and it is rubbish compared to this. I've been paying for it myself for well over a year, and yeah, so after that trial, if you use the promo code GHawk50, you will get 3 months at 50%. So you can't say fairer than that, can you? I've told you, it will change your evenings massively. You won't be wasting that much time. Once you've set your system up, it is so much of a lifesaver. So yeah, go and check them out. But like I say, go and visit TRADIFY. Right, so measuring out is pretty straightforward really. So you're going to need a square, an adjustable square. So what I've done is I've took into account the front of the fascia to the back, split it in half, because it's going to be, you can't really just go off the soffit board, you need the whole thing, because that's what's going to draw your eye. And then obviously square it up and mark it up like that, so then you end up with a little mark, if you can see that, like that one, and then you can drill it through. So with drilling that through, is every downlight has different sizes and stuff, but we use, this is 70mm on these little bad boys. But yeah, just take your time, okay? A dade this is, dust and debris, something or other. Well worth it, because especially on a driveway like this, you don't want to be picking up all the bits of plastic, and it's a pain in the arse, so that actually stops it. So yes, well worth the investment. So what I'll do, I'll get that drilled out. I'll put you back up on, I tell you what, sod time lapse, ain't gonna happen. No, you're not having it, you're not having time lapse. I'm gonna drill it out, and then I'll jump back once I've drilled those out. Holes drilled, so who needs to see that? You're drilling holes. So we've got them all through, so that's fine. So the next step for us is then, that's us as in me and my mate who sits on my shoulder, is actually now getting between the two. So there's multiple ways you can do it. You can lift all the tiles up, move them all back. Obviously more time consuming doing that. Sometimes that's just the way you have to go, but always try and use the super rods. There's multiple different flexes and all that lot that you can use. Everybody knows what they are. Cable tongue, there's also the gecko, which is a magnet, which is brilliant for certain time. It wouldn't work on this one because it will hit each timber, so it won't work. So what I've used on this one is the old ball and magnet from Super Rod, which is great, to be fair. So the next step for me is to take that magnet off, put the old, I'll call it a snake skin, but I think it's called a sock, but snake skin sounds cooler. So that onto the old drum, and then basically onto the next one, to the next one, to the next one, repeat, and then back to, I'm going to mount the wireless sender next to the consumer unit. I think that's where I'm planning on having it. I think it makes more sense to do that, so I'm going to drop that in down here, next to here somewhere. I think I'm probably going to, in fact I'll probably put it underneath, saying that, because I can drop the feed all the way down into in that trunking underneath, mount a whisker box or something like that on there, wireless receiver, and then obviously straight into that RCBO that's there, which is already labelled up, ready to go. So that is the plan, but like I say, I will give you a little bit of time lapse. I'm going to treat you. So a bit of time lapse. I'm going to get all these cables running, and then I'll show you one of the downlights. There's, like I say, and then we'll wire that one in, and then we'll jump back in after that. So yeah, so bear with, I'll set you up, and then, you know, again, if you need another tea in this video, then there's obviously, you've got a bit of a tea addiction. so we've got all the downlights up. Let me show you that way. So we've ran back to the board now, which is, it's come down the trunk in, like I said, and then we're going to tuck it behind the board, so that's in there, and the other end of that, excuse me, so we ran it all the way down there, and right down to the far end, which I'll take you down in a second. So the downlights and stuff that I use, which most of them do now, to be honest, is they've got a selectable colour setting and also a wattage output on these particular ones, which are brilliant. So what I've always told Jack as well, unless stated otherwise, we always set them to daylight. It gives the biggest impact, should I say, on for clients when you initially turn them on. Me personally, on the outside, I think warm white actually looks a bit better, but I'll go through with the client, and then it's literally just a little micro switch and just turn it across. It's simple, really. Again, with these ones, and like I say, it's not just these ones, most of them, they come with different bezels as well. I mean, this one comes with brushed chrome, polished chrome and white. Some might say, yeah, white would be better on the bottom of the soffit, and yeah, that's fine. If you want them to blend in, that's fine. Again, down to client, personal choice, and they all come with them anyway, so it makes no difference to me. So I'll be asking them when they come back, and let's just run to the other end. So it's really important, as everybody knows, if you're doing your EICRs, how often is it where you drop downlights down and they're not terminated correctly? So what we've normally got is that's all peeled back all the way up here, you know, generally quite often no sleeving on or anything like that, absolute shower of rubbish. So it's very important to terminate these correctly, and that is the correct manner in the way to terminate them, because when the lid's on, which is that, there's no singly insulated cable exposed. The best way I find doing these, and they don't take long to install, is to use something like this, or which is the CK version. I know Nipex do it, and I'm not sure who nicked it off who on those. And then I also like using these, which are the Klein cable strippers. Equally, all as good, do different functions for me on those, but today I decided to use the CK ones. So I've left that down now on that far end, because it's my last point. That is the one I need to get to for testing purposes. So what I'll do is I'm going to, now I'll show you mounting up the kinetic switching. I'll go and show you how to do all that, and then failing, well, after that we'll then run through the test procedure, and then that's it. So, but at this second, right now, which you don't know, it's going to be 2 seconds for you, but for me, I'm having something to eat because I'm starving. Right, so we've got it's all mounted up. So I've mounted it into a whisker, I think it's a 308 box it is. So it's very tight for in here, but it just about works. So that being said, I've just tested out the other end, because obviously we need to go down there. Now you can't test it from this point because it needs to be linked through, so you'd have to put your links in there, sorry. So we'll go down the other end, and I'll show you how we've gone about the testing on that. So we've linked it up. Like I say, it's important to keep your last one on there, and then we've got a reading an R1 R2 of 0.55, and we've done our insulation resistance test, but we have to take the insulation resistance test, you have to do that prior to fitting that kinetic switch module, because they don't like it. So that's all been done. So next thing for me now is putting the cover on there and testing the RCBO for, obviously it's RCD time, tripping out time, but obviously I need to put the other end on, so I'm going to go and put that on. I've just spoke to the customer as well. Happy with the bezels as they are, and then we're going to potentially change the colour output once they're on, once they've had a look at it. So that's the plan for now. So what I'll do is I'll power it up, and then I'll show you how you pair that up as well, because that's something that I'm not sure whether I've shown you that before. So I'll just get it all powered up, get that downlight on, and then I'll jump back in to pair it all up. Right, module's on. RCBO's tested out all okay. So you press and hold your test button for 3 seconds and then it will start blinking, which we'll do. So it'll blink like that. So you press your switch once, and then as you press it now, it'll illuminate the LED, which is on there, to go on and off. Now, honesty disclaimer, it doesn't need a 2-gang switch. That they've given me a 1-gang, but this one for some reason will not pair up, so that has got to go back. And I always keep another one on the van, so I will leave this one with a client for right now, and hopefully I'll get another one dropped off a bit later on today. And if so, you know, if it doesn't happen, I'll pop back because I'm going to be here doing a load of other stuff anyway and swap it over. But basically that's it. So they're all on now and all off, on, and then we can mount this up on the inside. But yeah, I mean, other than that little hiccup, absolutely perfect for this sort of installation. No damage is going to be caused inside. Nice little fitting. I'm just going to label that up on the inside now, and then that's pretty much that job sorted. So I'll label it up and then I'll just show you the completed thing. That's it, labelled up, all ready to go. So I've just put on the wireless module for front lights inside, outside lights all there, so that's your local isolation. It's literally there, couldn't be any more obvious. So yeah, so that is it. That is the job completed. I'll try and get an image to put up of the job as a whole in the evening, but yeah, I think it's, like I say, spaced out right, because we've got disability access and stuff like this down this ramp here, so there's something that was lacking as well, is lighting out the front, because it gets a bit dangerous and stuff, not being able to see what you're doing. So hopefully, if I can, I'll get a picture and I'll put it up at the end of what it's like at night. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you've enjoyed it and it's been sort of helpful for you, then obviously don't forget to hit the subscribe button, leave your comments. If there was any way you would do it slightly different to me, I'm all ears. You know, let's share our knowledge. That's knowledge is power, isn't it? So yeah, so thanks for watching and catch you later. See you guys.